Eric Keller here, Enthusiast Auto Group. Today we're at EAG's workshop number 1, HQ, and we have a pair of M2s, the ultimate modern analog driver's car. One has come to us in the form as a trade-in. The other is a car that we've just recently purchased out of Arizona. The Hockenheim Silver there on the left is virtually a stock car, where this Alpine White certainly is not hiding anything, that it is a breathed upon high performance example. These cars really represent what the M brand is all about in modern form, and if you ask me, the guy that bought an M2 new back in March of 2016, and the guy that's driven just about every M car worth driving twice, this is the best thing BMW M's got going on right now. And I absolutely love this car. We've just sold our 2019 M2 Comp, and as bittersweet as that is, we do have to make room for some new, fun, exciting cars to keep coming through. And frankly, that is part of my automotive attention deficit disorder, the AADD, that I've suffered from since, the age of, I don't know how early that was onset, but it's been with me my whole life, and that's why we're here today doing this, because holy smokes, this car is sexy as all get out. My gosh, I'm super happy with this car. Thank you, original owner in Arizona, that really pulled out all the stops to bring this car to this level. And yes, please. Both of these cars have just over 2,000 miles on them. They are not brand new. They are not perfect. They are close to it. They do have some tasteful, enthusiast-oriented upgrades and changes, which we certainly would be happy to accent if you so chose. If you decide you want one of either of these cars, or maybe both, why not? That's exactly what we've done to the Z4M Coupe that we've recently featured in one of our videos. This is the 60,000-mile car that you have seen just a couple weeks ago. It has sold to a really great enthusiast in the Midwest, and he's commissioned us to add some personalization bits from a E-Venturi intake system, these lovely CSL wheels, as well as an exhaust system. The car now, oh man, it'd be fun to go out and do another fun video driving the heck out of this thing, because the enhancements certainly make it quite a bit more fun and more visceral. And I think the wheels really set the car off. There are no spacers on that, and there are no spacers on the M2 either. When you build them to the right offset and spend $10,000 to have your wheel and tire package put on the car, right around 1,000 miles or so, you get this look, but it also is enhanced with the suspension. The Ohlin two-way adjustable with camber plates was another, almost $4,000. The car also has a set of H&R Sway Bars that will keep that car flatter than heck in a corner. And it really is a awesome dual-purpose setup. The Remus muffler that's installed will give us not only a great sound, but a really, really good aesthetic look, as well as it's tucked quite high up into the rear undercarriage area with this BMW M-Performance Carbon Fiber rear valance. We installed that on our first M2 as well. Same with that rear carbon fiber lip spoiler and the black gills and grills and all that stuff too, just because it frankly looks great. You'll notice the IND side reflector covers, as well as on the fronts of both of these cars. So a lot of just little subtle enthusiast related changes to these cars to make them each their own. And you can't buy more fun in a new M car, in my opinion, than the M2. And so here is a second chance to buy new with EAG behind it. We will be certainly excited to buy both of these cars back from those that we sell them to. That's part of the strategy here in buying these relatively new cars, or trading this Hockenheim in. A lot of M2s have been traded into us along the way to get even further back into the analog catalog. And trade-ins are always welcome at EAG. We love trade-ins. The guys that trade their stuff in, well, they're coming to us for a reason, because they appreciate the extra mile effort that we put into our cars. And frankly, they've done that to their other cars, whether it's a BMW or a Mercedes or an Audi, or Porsche is probably the most common trade-in, as you guys have seen in the miscellaneous tab of our website. We're happy to bring anything in that's high quality that we can sell with confidence. It's still going to go through the program and be inspected and ensure that it's fiddle string tight. Speaking of, these cars will still go through all the PPI process, and we're going to ensure that every step of the quality control is applied to these cars. That's standard. We got to do it. And I want that documentation too, because if we're going to own the car 5 or 10 times over the next 10 or 20 years, might as well start now. Blue stitching on the Alpine White. It is a dual clutch car. The original sticker, which is in the trunk, is 67 and change. Taking a quick closer look at the original window sticker as well as the service documentation that comes with the dual purpose M2. This DCT car comes with an original MSRP of $67,785. The extra add-ons there you can see clearly for yourself, and all the goodies are included and documented. The Ohlin road and track coilover suspension was 37 and change. The clear bra was another 1,800 bucks. The tow arms another 300 bucks. The wheels, check this out. And you got a little bit of a deal, a little price break. They're usually a couple $100 more on Tire Rack. The wheels were $8,000. Add some sensors and some tires, and EAG is going to add another new set of Sport Cup 2s just for good measure. The install and all that was another, nice labor bill of 16 hours, and I understand why it took 16 hours given the attention to detail that they did. And look, they even replaced the subframe bolts. Come on, that's what we want to see. The 2,700 bucks. And here is the original break-in service, the 1,200-mile service. And I had these organized by date, and that's on the 10th of January of this year, the 7th of January, the 7th of January, the, the 6th of January, the 24th of December, and the 17th of December. We've got this black piano trim. It is an executive package car, which will be denoted by the buttons right there. And we are sitting at 2,453 miles. The condition, I think, is pretty self-explanatory, and it's, pretty much a brand new car. The interior of the other will have the Hockenheim is the orange stitching. So let's pan over to that here real quick, and you can see the difference between the two. It is certainly noticeable. It's subtle, it's tasteful, and I think with each of these two colors they picked the right ones. I guess there's not maybe a wrong one. We will notice this is a 3-pedal car, still with its cellophane there on the dead pedal, and our mileage is sitting at 2,220 miles. This M2 competition was traded into EAG on an E90 M3 Competition Package 6-speed, and this gentleman that works at Porsche in Connecticut certainly loves his analog BMW M cars, and I have to say that Porsche is quite commonly the second favored brand of the EAG client, whether they're repeat or first time. And I understand why he jumped in an M2 comp, and I certainly understand why he jumped into the E90 as well. Certainly awesome driving and performing cars that have performance level, frankly, I think above their pay grade. They do have some new features like having to pull the hood lever twice, and I am not used to that, but I will obviously accommodate accordingly. The S55 engine is just a heck of a motor, and big honking motor, little baby car. The driving fun factor for me is very reminiscent of driving an S54 powered Z3M coupe, which is ultimately one of my favorite and just hoonigan like driving cars. And I cannot wait to drive this Alpine White, and that's exactly what I'm going to do after we do a PPI and check the car out in the workshop and make sure that everything is copacetic and good to go have some fun. So let's go do that right now. We are now inside EAG's workshop number 1 with the M2 competition, the ultimate dual-purpose driver's car. And here we can clearly identify which parts are original and which parts are not. We can also identify which parts have seen chemical or salt exposure because, well, none of them have. Being in Arizona the car's whole life, that would be a big surprise, but certainly we do have to check for that stuff. Trust but verify, and during our PPI, which yes, we do the same PPI that we would do on a E90 M3 on a brand new M2 that has 2,000 miles, because we do need to make sure we know what we're selling. We're marrying the car. That's why we own it several times after we find that first enthusiast home. Back here we will see the Turner adjustable rear toe links, the Ohlin adjustable suspension, as well as the H&R rear sway bar tucked up there at the top, the blue one. We can also see all of these paint markings, which are going to indicate that each of these bolts not only has been touched, but has been torque spec'd, and all the way there in the back even. That's important to see, and a good sign, some good witness marks of a top shop that cares and pays quite a close attention to those details. We like that as enthusiasts. Who knows what that's called, that design? Starts with a V, I think. Venturi, right? And under here we're quite tidy as well. We have the H&R front sway bar. This is a 2-position adjustable where the rear is a single position fixed. The further out will be the softer of the 2 settings. And there we have the adjustable Ohlin suspension, as well as at the very, very top there is a set of caster camber plates that came included with that kit. The alignment and everything else it was done during this install, which was done very shortly after the break-in service based on our date of all the service records. And no question the car has been tracked, but no question it was done carefully, and that's, I'm sure, why the clear bra was applied. The 2,400 miles, we're not having too much stuff to suffer from outside of a couple little marks here or there. That's just on top. And you know, that first blemish is always the hardest one, so we can thank the original owner because he put a couple small blemishes in the car, maybe, or somebody did inadvertently, and you know, it's no big deal. Not criticizing, because now we don't have to worry about being that first guy and saying, you know, oh, you know what, and having to well, feel ashamed a little bit that we made that improper move or touch that little baby curb or whatever this touch. Maybe the wheel fell at some point or something before it was put on, but there's a small imperfection there. And then on the back we have a couple small little dots, and I mean, these are small, but hey, we're going to notice them, and I'm going to make sure we point them out to the next guy, because full disclosure is EAG disclosure. The new tires will go on the car as well, ensuring that we're pretty much a brand new car for a second time. All of the stock takeoff suspension components are going to follow with the car. They fit nicely in the boot. And, you know, overall, I have to say, it's quite a tidy car. As I almost go down, safety first here at EAG, but we will push on through. I'm quite happy with the underside of the car. Tim has completed his inspection and checked everything, scanned the car for any fault codes as well. We will do one more post-sale inspection when the car is ready to head to its next enthusiast home, and that's just standard protocol, whether it's a first time through, a 10th time through, whether it's a couple months old or a couple decades old. We want to make sure that that process is as consistent as it can be, so that nothing is left to chance. And it's an EAG car, providing an EAG experience through and through. So this is going to be a little fun one. We're going to drive home here after a long day at EAG, which is basically how I've used an M2 for the last 4 years and change. And I've loved every minute of driving this car to work and back every day. It's been like the perfect commuter car. It's got everything that I need in a newer, more modern car. It's got a fantastic cup holder that can keep me water hydrated every day to and from. It's got all the IT and tech stuff with the phone and Bluetooth and CarPlay and all the stuff to get in my way to take my focus away from driving, and that's frankly what I love doing in this M2. It's a fantastic car. So yeah, the ride quality on this car is a little tighter, a little more taut, but is precise. It's very tight. Road and track suspension. I see why Ohlin's called it that setup. I'm not sure what all the rebound and settings and compression, dampening, all that. I don't know about it's set at right now. I think it's turned up. It's pretty tight, but whoa, she handles like on rails. This is, oh man, sounds tasty. Very nice suspension, very smooth. Wow, that's awesome. This is a good setup. We might have to sell this. The comp already is pretty high strung, not too high strung to make it a daily driver, but tighter than the standard M2, and with the enhanced features of the comp and now this Ohlin suspension, it's tighter, it's more higher strung, but I don't mind it, and I think driving this thing daily in this setup is going to be fine. I would probably dial things back a little bit from the current settings and enjoy the heck out of it and try not to get in trouble, because this car will get you in trouble. I left the shop with 25 miles of range, and it says dash again, and I've only made it about 9 miles. Oops. We're just gonna cruise on back. I have to say, if you are a one car kind of guy and have just one car to spread all of your automotive enthusiasm love upon, it's hard to find a better car to do that with than an M2. And the M2 comp is that much better. It is a bit more high strung and higher performance than a standard M2, and frankly, I think each of those cars have their advantages over the other, depending on what your use case is. And we certainly like to have that conversation with our clients and understand what their goals and their priorities are to make sure they are jumping into that right car. And that's why we certainly try to keep a little bit of everything on the menu, so to speak. Right now we have two M2 competitions. You've obviously seen those today. We do have a standard 2018 M2 coming in that is a one-owner car as well, that is with a dual clutch, and that car's all stock. It does have clear bra and has been owned by a BMW club member that has bought a E90 M3 from EAG, like OG, like a long time ago, and we've maintained the relationship and kept in communication since then, and really looking forward to bring that Long Beach blue on black with the blue stitching back through the process, albeit we won't probably find too much of stuff to make that car better, but we can certainly enter ourselves into that car's life early enough that we can ensure that the first chapter is mimicked with the second, third, and fourth. And that's really what our program is all about, and what makes us very unique in many other ways, in addition to that, of course. But looking forward to finding new homes and loving enthusiast owners for each of these M2s. And if you're interested, certainly drop us a line. If you have one like this that you'd like to pass on to the next guy, drop us a line there too. And until then, stay safe, keep enjoying these cars, and if you have any questions, of course, if we can help in any way, reach out, and yeah, see ya. I'm so not gonna make it home. Oh man, I got 4 more miles to go and 0 miles on the range. Dash. Here we go. It's hard not to keep pushing it. It's fun. Good car.